Have you ever wondered if a Shih Tzu is really the best choice for a home with kids? A lot of people think these little fluff balls are cute and calm, but is that really true? Today, I'm going to share with you the secrets no one talks about when it comes to living with a Shih Tzu, and help you avoid serious problems in the future. And look, if you think you can just throw the puppy into the mix with the kids and expect everything to turn into a buttery commercial, I'm sorry, but the reality can be very different. But don't panic. If done the right way, this friendship can become one of the cutest and most amazing things you've ever seen. You know that scene where a Shih Tzu is chasing the kid, both laughing? Okay, the dog doesn't laugh, but you get the idea, falling down together on the carpet? Yes, that's possible. But it can also turn into a real horror movie if the child doesn't respect the dog's boundaries and the poor dog starts to feel cornered. After all, despite that teddy bear face, the Shih Tzu has a strong personality and doesn't like to be squeezed, pulled, or treated like a toy. And then, my friend, things will go downhill. But the good news is that there are simple, powerful tips that make all the difference. Little actions in your daily life can turn this relationship into a bond full of love and respect. And I'm going to tell you all the details because the last thing we want is a stressed out Shih Tzu and a crying child, right? So sit back, grab your doggy in your lap, and let's go. And look, if you love these little fluff balls as much as I do, leave a like on this video because it helps me a lot to keep bringing amazing content to you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of great stuff coming your way, and I promise you won't want to miss it. Myths and truths about Shih Tzus and kids. A lot of people look at a Shih Tzu and picture it as a living stuffed animal, always ready to be hugged and smothered with affection, but is it really like that? If you have kids at home or are thinking about bringing one of these little fluff balls into your life with the little ones, it's good to know that not everything people say about them is true. These dogs have unique personalities and, although they are loving and companionable, they also have their own limits. So, if you want to avoid unexpected situations and ensure a peaceful, cute-filled relationship, come with me as I tell you some myths and truths about the relationship between Shih Tzus and kids. The first big myth is that the Shih Tzu is a lap dog that loves to be hugged all the time. Well, they do enjoy affection and being close to the family, but that doesn't mean they will love being squeezed, carried around, or treated like dolls. Imagine someone picking you up all the time without asking if you want to? Yeah, that can be uncomfortable. Many kids, without meaning to, overdo the hugs or hold the dog in an uncomfortable way, and this can irritate the dog and make it try to escape. That's why it's important to teach the little ones to respect the pet space, showing that affection is great, but there's always a limit. Another very common myth is that because they're small, Shih Tzus are perfect for playing with kids. In theory, that makes sense, but in practice, we need to remember that these little dogs are fragile. Unlike bigger, tougher breeds, a Shih Tzu can easily get hurt if it's grabbed carelessly, falls off a lap, or gets pulled too hard. Very small children may unintentionally step on them, pull their tails, or even try to ride them like a pony, and that can be dangerous for both the dog and the child. The ideal is to always supervise the playtime and teach the little ones to interact with the Shih Tzu in a safe, respectful way, avoiding unnecessary falls or scares. Now, if you think Shih Tzus are always patient and never bite, you might want to rethink. They are really sweet dogs and love company, but like any other living being, they have feelings and reactions. If they're provoked, scared, or put in uncomfortable situations, they might react with a growl or even a bite. That doesn't mean the dog is mean, it just means they're defending themselves. Imagine someone poking you constantly or holding you when you just want to rest. Eventually, you'd lose your patience, right? With Shih Tzus, it's the same. So, the secret is to teach the child to respect the dog's signals, like when it turns its head, walks away, or starts quietly growling. These are signs that the dog isn't comfortable and needs some space. How to ensure a good relationship. If you have a Shih Tzu and a child at home, or are thinking of bringing these two worlds together, you know that the relationship can be full of cute moments, but it also comes with its challenges. After all, children are curious, want to explore everything, and often don't understand that the little dog isn't a toy. And the Shih Tzu? Despite being super gentle and loving, he also has his limits and can get annoyed if treated any way. But don't worry, because the good news is that you can make this friendship work perfectly with a few simple actions. Now that we've talked about the challenges, let's learn how to ensure an amazing relationship between your little human and your little furry friend. Here are 5 golden tips that will turn this relationship into a partnership full of love and respect. The first thing we need to teach is that the Shih Tzu is not a toy. It might seem obvious to an adult, but for a young child, it's not always clear. So, the ideal is to calmly show how to pet him the right way, explaining that squeezing, pulling, or holding him in any way could hurt the dog. A good tip is to turn this into something fun. Create a game where the child learns what the magic touch is to make the Shih Tzu happy. This way, they understand that affection should be light and gentle. Another essential point is to always supervise the interactions, especially if the child is very young. Children under 5 are still learning to control their strength and movements, so without meaning to, they might scare the dog. And a scare can lead to a growl or even a little warning bite. To avoid this, the best thing is to always be nearby when they're playing together. This way, you can correct any behavior before something unexpected happens. Additionally, the Shih Tzu needs his own little spot where he can rest peacefully without being disturbed. This can be a bed in a more private part of the house or even a cozy little house. This safe space is essential for the dog to feel protected and comfortable. If he's lying there and the child wants to play, teach them that this is the dog's rest time and that he will want to play again soon. This helps prevent the dog from getting stressed and turns the relationship into something much more harmonious. Speaking of playtime, it's important to choose the right activities for the child to do with the dog. No pulling his tail, trying to ride on him, or playing too roughly. Shih Tzus are small and fragile, and sudden movements can hurt them. Opt for light activities, such as tossing a softball, setting up a small obstacle course, or teaching simple tricks. This not only avoids accidents, but also strengthens the bond between them in a healthy and fun way. And finally, a tip that makes all the difference. Whenever the Shih Tzu and the child interact well, reward the dog with treats, affection, or encouraging words. This reinforces that he's doing something positive and helps build trust between them. And guess what? This works for the child too. Whenever they respect the dog, praise them, and show that they're doing a great job. This way, everyone learns together, and the friendship only grows. Real stories and fun tales. One thing no one can deny is that the friendship between a Shih Tzu and a child can be one of the cutest and most special things in the world. When this relationship is built on respect and affection, amazing moments arise that seem like they're straight out of a movie. And to prove that when everything is done right, this bond can be unforgettable, check out these real stories that will warm your heart and make you go ah without even realizing it. One of the most adorable scenes we've seen is that of the baby and his inseparable Shih Tzu. Imagine this, a baby just a few months old, deeply asleep, with a little dog cuddled up next to him as if they were siblings who never want to be apart. The most amazing part? Every time the baby moves, the Shih Tzu adjusts his position to stay close, as though he's protecting his little human even in his sleep. And this scene repeats every day, with the two of them sleeping side by side, forming an inseparable duo. The most incredible part of this story is that ever since the baby was born, the Shih Tzu seemed to sense that he had a special mission, to be the guardian of this new family member. Today, they are best friends and do everything together, from taking naps to exploring the house like true adventurers. And if you think a Shih Tzu is a calm dog without a protective spirit, you need to hear about the dog who takes his guardian role very seriously. Whenever his little human is napping, he positions himself strategically by the bed and stays alert to any movement. One day, the child's mother went into the room to wake her up, and to her surprise, the Shih Tzu started to quietly bark, as if saying, "Hey, don't wake her up now, she's so comfortable." The funniest part? He didn't do this for himself, because when it's time for his own bath or to wake up, he accepts it without complaint. But when it comes to protecting the child's sleep, he doesn't let anyone come near. Can you picture the scene? A tiny dog, full of courage, blocking everyone in the house just to ensure that his human friend can rest undisturbed. Now, if there's a story that really shows how Shih Tzus and kids can be partners in crime, it's the one about this mischievous duo that no one can control. Their plan seemed very well thought out. Mom left for a few minutes, and when she came back, a scene of destruction. Pillows on the floor, toys scattered, a complete mess. And the funniest part was seeing the Shih Tzu and the child standing in the middle of the room, with that "we didn't do it" look on their faces. The dog, with his fur all messed up, and the child holding a pillow almost bigger than she was. The funniest part? When they checked the security footage, it was clear that the Shih Tzu started the game by grabbing an object and running off, and the child, thinking it was the greatest thing ever, decided to join in. In the end, it was impossible to scold them because the scene was so funny that all you wanted to do was laugh. Their friendship grew even stronger after that day, and ever since, whenever the child is planning something, the Shih Tzu is right there beside her, ready to join the adventure. Benefits of growing up with a Shih Tzu. Growing up with a Shih Tzu can be one of the most valuable and enriching experiences for a child. It's not just the fun and play that make this relationship special, but also the many benefits it brings to the child's emotional, social, and even life skills development. When a Shih Tzu enters the family, he becomes much more than just a pet. He becomes a true friend, an adventure companion, and a great teacher of important lessons. First, living with a Shih Tzu naturally teaches responsibility. From an early age, the child learns to care for another living being, which involves tasks like feeding the dog, giving him water, playing, and even keeping his space clean. These responsibilities, which may seem simple, are significant steps in learning how to care for something or someone. As the child grows, they begin to understand the importance of being consistent and careful. And of course, there's nothing better than seeing the Shih Tzu happy and healthy as a reward for those efforts. This type of lesson helps the child become more attentive, committed, and responsible in other areas of life, such as school or personal relationships. Additionally, having a Shih Tzu encourages empathy in the child. When they see the dog sad or anxious, they learn to recognize and understand the emotions of another being, which develops their more sensitive side. If the Shih Tzu is tired or in pain, the child learns to be considerate and respectful of the pet space, showing care and affection. This experience of taking care of a furry friend teaches the child to put themselves in someone else's shoes, a very valuable skill in their social life. They learn to care about the well-being of others, which helps them form deeper friendships and become more understanding people. And of course, we can't forget that a Shih Tzu brings to the child a unique and sincere friendship. No matter what happens during the day, the dog will always be there, ready to play or keep company. This unconditional friendship provides the child with valuable emotional support, especially during moments of sadness or loneliness. Growing up with a Shih Tzu, the child learns to value moments of true companionship and to appreciate the beauty of friendship without judgment. The dog not only becomes a loyal friend but also a model of loyalty and affection. These benefits reflect in many areas of the child's life, helping them become more responsible, empathetic, and emotionally balanced. And you, have you noticed any benefits from this friendship between your Shih Tzu and a child in your home? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how this relationship has transformed your family. How to know if a Shih Tzu is right for your family. Choosing the right dog for your family is an important decision, and when it comes to a Shih Tzu, it's essential to know if they will adapt well to everyone's lifestyle. While they are known for their cuteness and sweet personality, this breed requires specific attention and care to ensure both the dog and the family members are happy. So, how do you know if a Shih Tzu is right for your home? Let's find out. First, you need to consider the time available for care. The Shih Tzu is a dog that requires attention, especially because of its long, silky coat that needs to be brushed regularly to avoid matting. This can be a challenge for families with busy schedules. If your family has the time to dedicate to the dog's daily care, like bathing, trimming nails, and brushing the coat, then a Shih Tzu can be an excellent choice. This care routine not only keeps the dog healthy but also creates a bond of affection and respect between the dog and the family, especially with children, who learn to take care of their furry friend. Another factor to consider is the patience required, both for the dog and the child. Shih Tzus, as adorable as they are, can sometimes be a little stubborn, so patience is needed to train them and teach them how to behave in different situations. For children, it's also essential that they learn to interact correctly with the dog, with affection and respect. If you have small children at home, it's important to be aware that until they learn to be gentle, the Shih Tzu may need some space to rest and extra supervision during playtime. This way, the child learns to respect the dog's space and develop a friendship without causing stress for the pet. The environment where the Shih Tzu will live is also a determining factor. They are small dogs, but still need space to play and explore. An apartment is a great option, as long as there are opportunities for regular walks. If you live in a house with a yard, even better, as the dog will be able to have more fun and run around. The important thing is that the environment is safe and comfortable for the Shih Tzu, and that he has activities to entertain himself, such as toys and interaction with the family. Finally, remember that, beyond all these practical considerations, a Shih Tzu brings a lot of joy and love to the home. If you're willing to invest time and patience, and if your home environment is suitable for the dog, he could be the best companion for your family. So, by reflecting on these points, you'll be able to make the right decision and ensure a harmonious coexistence full of cute moments. So, folks, now tell me, have you ever had any experience with Shih Tzus and children? Or do you know any funny or even challenging stories about this coexistence? I'd love to hear everything. So don't waste time, leave it in the comments, because I really want to know what you've experienced with your furry dogs. It could be a funny situation, a cute moment, or even something that was a challenge to handle. Everything counts. And if this video helped you better understand how this relationship between Shih Tzus and children can be amazing, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, because that helps me bring more tips and stories to everyone. Also, send this video to that friend who has a Shih Tzu or is thinking about adopting one of these cuties. They will love knowing everything we've talked about here, I'm sure. Oh, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll stay up to date on everything about these amazing furry friends, with tips, curiosities, and lots of cool stories that will help you care for your four-legged buddy with lots of love and affection. Thanks for sticking with us until the end, and remember, Shih Tzus are truly much more than dogs. They are true friends and companions for life. See you in the next video, everyone.